Rob Cesternino and Taran Armstrong here with the great Derek X. Derek, how are
What
you?
adjectives are you about to use right here? I was like, great.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
okay, all right, I appreciate that. I would have taken fantastic, would have taken beautiful, stunning. Dude, you guys, I actually recognize you guys. I was a little worried because I was like, Rob, I don't know if I don't know if Rob, but Taryn, I've seen a
Hmm.
lot of clips of you on Twitter.
Well, I
So
bet he's seen more clips of you.
Yeah, it's probably
yeah,
true. Yeah.
that I believe. I
We
believe.
know each other vicariously via clips of video. So
Yeah, I've seen you break down my game. I didn't even know I had a game, so that was great. You definitely gave me way more credit than I deserved. You're like, oh man, DX is killing you right now. So he's doing this because she's thinking that. And I was like, damn, she's thinking that? I was like, wow, that worked out great.
there you go.
Derek, could you give us the update since the end of the season? Where are you at still?
Okay, so we're still staying at this like guy's house. I think I say, yeah, we're staying at Todrick Hall's place. He's a huge fan of Big Brother, so
Yeah.
he's letting us crash with him.
And you guys are free to go, right? You're not captured or
No,
anything like that.
we're locked in here, so these are my handcuffs. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we get like 2 hours of yard time. It's basically the Big Brother house.
Now, Derek, I had a theory that are you still in California because your parents told you if you don't win the game, you're not allowed to come home?
Oh my God, that's funny. Yeah, I saw that in my opening scene. No, that is not why I'm in California. Me and my parents are all good. They flew out here to see me.
Oh,
So I didn't feel any need to go back to Maryland. And it's been good being out in LA because I am just unsure what the next journey of my life looks like. Do I go back to New York? Do I go to Hawaii, meet up with my boy Travis? Do I still play? So who knows? Yo, okay. Also, watching the first couple of episodes, Travis did not get any airtime. Okay, so this whole like me, Travis, like romance
yeah.
thing, that was a huge inside joke in the house, but how much was that picked up on outside the house?
Yeah, we don't
On the
understand.
episodes, not too much. Yeah, I think a lot of people are like, "Why is he still talking about Travis?"
Yeah, who is he talking about?
You're like, can we put this kid on the block already? Like, why is he talking about this dude Travis? Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I think that is probably one of my longest running like inside jokes with the other house guests is my like relationship with Travis. But I came out and everyone's like, why do you still keep talking about that dude? Like, who is that? Some people don't even like remember Travis.
We did ask him if he was going to offer you a job postseason. He seemed lukewarm. Have you talked to him
Oh,
about
no,
this?
Luke Warren. Wait, when was this? Give me a date.
This was right after he was evicted, so it was right after you
Oh, okay.
used the veto to send him out. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I did him completely dirty with that veto. Me and Travis have a lot to hash out. I think I'm gonna try to go do like an IG live with him sometime. We have a lot to talk about, and we gotta make our relationship public, man. We can't have people questioning our friendship. Yeah, no, I think we're good. He offered. I jokingly asked him about like a job, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, like come to Hawaii, like we'll do something."
There you go. Is there anything you've like learned since you came out of the house that you've been like really surprised about?
Um, okay, so what is everything? So Claire told me about her small lies in the house. That was shocking to me just because of how insignificant I felt like the lies were. Uh, it's like she lied about it's like being 5'10 and then you lie and say you're 5'9. Like just a very insignificant lie. Sarah Beth is actually a forensic chemist, which um I don't think that like completely shocked me. Brittany's big thing is that she was in theater. Oh, and she also said that she was diagnosed when she was that was extremely shocking to me. I had no idea.
Mhm.
So impressed by the way that Brittany was able to play this game. Um, Tiffany told me she owned her own business. I was surprised that Kylan wasn't lying. I was brainwashed in that house by Tiffany. Like anything she said, I took that as the Bible. So when she was saying like Kylan's lying about this, like he might be a politician, I was like, all right, he's a politician. I think he's probably running for like governor or something. So I was shocked that Kylan actually is exactly who he said he was.
And obviously, you were super shocked about Xavier not being a bartender.
Oh, that
Yeah,
blew me away. See, I didn't even mention that because I was like, I don't think
it's
Xavier's
too
about anything.
shocking. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously Xavier, world's worst bartender.
Uh, Derek, we didn't get to see a ton of what life was like in the jury house, and you spent such a long time there, being the only man in the jury house until Kylan got there. What was that experience like?
I was gonna say, the only guy in jury house, not that bad. My biggest joke was like, we should have turned jury into a reality dating show. Like that should have been the spinoff series. It was fun.
Like The Bachelor.
Exactly, right? Flavor Flav. So let's see. I think I had way more fun in the jury house. I had fun in both places, but by the time I had left the house, I genuinely loved every single person in that house. Like everyone there, I enjoyed hanging out with, like enjoyed talking to. So once we made it to jury and all the game aspects were removed on top of that, like it was just like even more fun. It was like living in a house with 7, like 8 of like your best friends. You just get to hang out every day. So there's like a basketball court. They have pool. You can watch Netflix, listen to music. Basically everything except for being able to use the internet.
Yeah. What else is there? Yeah.
what kind of conversations did you have about like the potential finalists and who you might vote for?
Okay, so I think the rundown was, before I came, it was just Brittany, and she was very anti-Kai. She was not about it. And then I came in, and I think I was on the fence. I think in the beginning, I was pretty anti-Kai just because I was still a little salty about how I left on like SB's HOH, and then I was pretty sure that Kylan was like feeding her stuff during the HOH. So I was pretty salty about, yeah, probably feeding her a lot. So this is what you guys can fill me in on, because I still haven't like deep dived into like all like the live feeds of what was going down. And then I was pretty anti-Kai. SB took Kai's hoodie, threw it into a tree. She was not on his team. She was not on his team anymore. So us three, we were just like, we had like the Kai hate club in jury house. And then I think, no, we kept it going, because then Claire came, and then Alyssa came, and it just kept building. And then finally Tiffany came. And I think my, I wouldn't even say dislike, like my resentment towards Kylan definitely faded over the weeks. And I think by the time Claire and Alyssa came to jury, I was already starting to think like, you know what? I'm not rooting for Kai. At that point I wanted Tiffany to win, or I wanted Tiffany or Chada or even Ozza to win, but I had a lot of respect for Kylan. Like I just had respect for the way that he was playing the game, and the fact that from my perception, it seemed like not a lot of people in the house publicly liked him. I don't know what they were thinking internally, like maybe that was a strategy so that we didn't see the connection between Kylan and other people. But I was just genuinely impressed that like you could have people not like you and still manage to stay in the house for so long, and like no one turn on you. So I was impressed by the way that he was able to play the strategy of the game. And then he's also like winning comps. So it's just hard not to root for an underdog. So my like resentment towards Kai definitely faded. And by the time Tiffany came, gotta keep this a secret. All right, this is the final 3 right now. Like you guys can't tell anyone, but
got it.
Me and Tiffany, I'd say we started being like the Kai fan club. You know, like I kind of shifted sides. You got to go with the house, and we were like, can we flip the house right now? Because after Tiffany came, Chada came, and we're like, who else are we gonna root for? At that point, it's X, Ozza, Big D, and Kylan in the house. And, you know, like I love Ozza to death. I think she's like an amazing person. But I wasn't really sure how much game had she played. And, you know, I think Tiffany and Kai and Chada were always, even in jury, like careful about talking about the people, the game of the people inside the house, because they don't want to skew like jury votes too much, right? By like misappropriating something to Ozza when actually X did it, or saying that Ozza didn't do something when it actually did. Like you just never know what's going on. So from my perception, I was like, how much game has like Ozza like kind of really been playing? You know, like I know she's a great chef, but like, am I gonna give her 750K because she's great at cooking? So
she makes difficult dishes that not just anybody can make.
Yeah, not easily duplicated.
Dude, she made dough from scratch in that house. Like that girl is a legit chef. I came in and I was like, I'm not gonna tell anyone that I can cook because I don't want to cook for anyone. Like I'm just gonna make sandwiches all summer. And then I see that she's cooking and people starting to like her more because she's cooking. So I was like, oh wait, fuck this. Hand me a butter knife. I'm about to get in here. Let me chop up this garlic. Where was I going? Okay,
Sorry,
so
I interrupted. You were talking about Azza
no,
and her worthiness as a winner.
you're good. My brain
Yeah.
is so scrambled coming out of this house right now. So this might not even be coherent. I'm gonna trust you guys to
Sure.
stitch it together.
You know, I'd love to hear from you. You know, you had this one version of the events of the summer based on what was in front of you and what made sense. And then eventually Tiffany comes to jury and explains, oh, no, there was actually the cookout. And people hinted to you that there was an alliance. What was it like having sort of that eureka moment of like, oh, this is why everything didn't work?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure how they cut stuff, but by the time, okay, so I can tell. So when I went to jury and me and Brittany were able to talk, we were pretty solid on that there was an alliance that had Kai, X, Tiffany, and Ozza. And then we were not sure whether or not Hannah and Big D were in it. Because at that point, I was still like, Hannah is my ride or die. And I was like, there's no way she was in this alliance without me. I was like, she definitely would have told me. She definitely would have told me. And then SB came, and then SB said that in the house, Kai had told her, Kai kept asking her questions about whether or not an alliance of 6 was able to make it to the finals, and kept hinting about like 6 people. And maybe I think that was all we needed to piece together a puzzle. When she said 6 and we were in jury, we were like, oh shit, okay, so Chada's in it, Big D's in it. What's the common denominator? And that's when we figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Claire came, Alyssa came, and I think when Claire came, she already knew, and then we just kind of confirmed. Alyssa came, we might have had to have told her. And then Tiffany came, and honestly, I don't think Tiffany didn't even want to tell us that the cookout was a thing. I think she waited for us to tell her. She's still playing Big Brother. She never gives out information before getting something in return.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't think by the time Tiffany came, like, I'm pretty sure it was no shock to anyone.
Yeah.
Have you like sort of like pieced together like, okay, that's why like I got pushed in this direction here?
Okay, so when did we realize the whole duos thing? I think that's when Sarah Beth came. We were talking about it, and we were like, this is the best strategy we have ever seen. Like, to have these public duos that you can hit the block with. Okay, it actually was when Sarah Beth came, because I told Sarah Beth that me and Kylan had a conversation once where he told me the biggest secret of his game is that he's trying to overplay his relationship with SB so that he would hit the block with her and not with me. But I think what he really meant is not hit the block with X. So I kind of like put that in my pocket. And I remember, I think I told Claire at some point. Claire was like, yeah, of course he's doing that. And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it just isn't a secret. And he's telling me it's a secret so that he can build trust with me. And I never told anyone else that. And I told SB in jury that he said this. And this is one moment when I started hitting myself over the head, because she was like, DX, if you had just told me that in the house, I would have been able to piece it together. Because she had pieces of the puzzle, I had pieces of the puzzle, but they did such a great job making sure that me and SB were not relaying information back to each other. But
yeah, I mean, when you and Hannah really started to get closer, that was shortly after Tiffany, really, because at first, Tiffany was playing, a different game, and then she had kind of an epiphany moment where she was like, all right, you know what, this is the master plan. I'm gonna go to the 6 with the cookout. And it was right after she had you, she brought you in with the aces, and you talked about going after the kings and going after Xavier. It was like that night she came up with the dream.
I've heard.
And then she started pushing you and Hannah together, and Hannah would go to you like with words from Tiffany, and you'd be like, you've been talking to Tiffany? Like, you sound like Tiffany. And then Tiffany would go to you and be like, yeah, I linked up with Hannah.
What happened? I remember, yeah, it was literally in the same day. I think within 5 hours, I have a conversation with Tiffany, and she's like, the entire house is in duos. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. The entire house is in duos. Yeah, I see this. And she was like, DX, you need a duo. And I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know what's going on right now. And she was like, I want your duo has to be Chada. And I was like, I mean, I still kind of want to win this game. I don't know if my duo should be Chada. I was like, can I get like Kai or something? Like, what's going on? She's like, no, Kai's already got SB. Your dude's got Chada. And I was like, all right, fine. I like Chada a lot as a person. Like, let's do this. At that point, I still wasn't seeing the game. Like, I was not seeing like the strategy she was playing yet. So then literally within like 3 hours, Chada pulls me aside and she was like, DX, I want to be your number one in this game. And she's like, the entire house is in duos. And I was like, well, it's like deja vu right now. Am I just having another conversation with Tiffany? And this kept happening for like an entire week where I talked to Tiffany. 3 hours later, Hannah would come to me and relay the exact same information. So that's when I started to be like, okay, so obviously Tiffany's just telling Chada, and then she's also telling me, and then me and Chada are like connecting with each other. But I don't know. I still didn't piece together that like, that was like part of an even bigger strategy. I thought that was still part of like the surface level duo strategy. And I was like,
yeah, it makes sense. Get her allies together. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's just her like making sure like she's close to me, she's close to Chada. She wants me and Chada to also be close. So that's how I viewed it. And I was like, that makes sense. And it wasn't hard at all to get close to Chada. Like she was just an easy person to talk to. So yeah, the duos never, I like to say that I questioned it, but I never questioned it. I was like, this is just friendship. Like, like that's just everyone. That's just like who people are friends with, and it happened to be duos like that.
Derek, when you were in the house, you were the recipient of 100 BB bucks for 2 weeks in a row, and you
right now.
Yeah. You got a clue that you were a popular person with the audience. Did you realize that you getting those BB bucks from the audience also then made you a target in the house?
I'm telling you guys, I don't know why I have people in my DMs right now saying like, oh my God, you are the best Big Brother player that ever played this game. Like you have to come on All-Stars. Your strategy was so good. You're such a competitor. And I'm like, I just objectively was not. Like, like I would be one to toot my own horn, and I can just say straight up.
Like the Lord of the Latrine.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like I will blow that horn, but I just am not that good of a player. So I was like, I just made a ton of dumb mistakes in that house. Like telling everyone I got 100 BB bucks, like not questioning my alliances. It was actually funny. I was literally telling the story this morning. I remember going to that second week of BB bucks, and I had already gotten $100. And if I got $100 again, that meant I was guaranteed to be able to play the coin flip the following week, even if I got $50. So I was like, this second week is critical that no one knows how much money I get. Because if I got that coin flip, I actually wanted it to be anonymous. I did not want to tell anyone about that. So I don't want people to think that I'm eligible for it. So I was like, second week, I'm not gonna tell anyone how much money I get. That was my energy going in. And I also thought I was just gonna get $50. I felt like I was not gonna get any airtime the second week. I thought the first week was kind of a fluke, and then America would look at me again and be like, wait, why did we send him money? Let's give it to someone else. So then I go into the high rollers room, and then you swipe your card, and I was like freaking out. I was like, $100. Oh my God, this is insane. Blew my mind. And my adrenaline's rushing now. They hurry me like back to the house. As soon as I walk in, I see Hannah, and then now she's getting ready to go to the high rollers room, and she was like, how much money did you get? And I was like, 0. Caved immediately. I was just so excited to tell someone. I could not hold it in. I told her. Then after that, I told Claire, I told Tiffany, I told SB, I could not keep that a secret. Which I do regret. Like, you're right. It just makes you a target in that house when people like see that, like SB kept bringing that up during her HOH week, that America liked me more than her, so she had to take me out. So yeah, it was a bad game move. I had to keep my excitement under lock.
Okay, well, I do have to thank you, because you provided me with one of my favorite sound clips because of what you said to Julie of the entire season. Because when you said expect the unexpected to Julie, she went,
ooh. I love it.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Like people are dragging Julie. I'm dead. That was
because you said expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell. Like, I could tell she was surprised by that answer.
Yeah. You kept her on her toes.
How much did you really enjoy the
Baby D?
Baby D?
Oh, baby. I still do not know how I feel about that. I think
I think it's okay to not like Baby D.
Yeah. And also, I don't think people use it a lot.
No,
not at all.
Only, really, in the house, they used it more than anybody else.
I have not had anyone come up to me in the streets and been like, "Baby D." I've got Lord of Latrine a couple times. So in pecking order, I probably go like Derek X. Okay, I go Derek. Okay, and then DX, Derek X, Baby D, Lil D, maybe tied. But actually right above that, Lord of Latrine, and then Baby D, Lil D.
There you go.
Do people refer to you as Lord of the Latrine in public?
Yeah, I've had a couple people come and be like, "Yo, Lord Latrine." Like,
have you had people come up to me? Hey, I need to go to the bathroom. Could you?
Yo, that actually, yeah. You know what? Let's actually cut this segment out. I don't want to give anyone any ideas when they see me. Wait, I've actually had people request me on Cameo, like, "Yo, can you like put it on Lord Latrine costume and announce like using the porcelain throne and stuff like that?"
You don't they don't give you the costume, right?
You know, I think they might, but I haven't got them yet. So we're all going to get these boxes with all of the props that we had in the house. But those are still like getting shipped.
Halloween's around the corner.
I mean, that'd be a good investment. You start announcing people going to the bathroom for them, charge them $100 a pop.
I remember coming to the house that first night and then meeting Big D. And at that point, it was just two Dereks. So then Big D kept saying like, "We need to have different names. We need to have different names." So I was like, yeah, whatever. I've never had a nickname in my life. So I was like, I'm sticking to Derek. I don't care what you do. And then we do like the intros where we all sit around in a circle, introduce ourselves. I introduce myself first. And then Big D comes along. He's like, "Yo, my name is Derek, but there's two Dereks here. So y'all can call me Big D." And I was like, damn, if you're Big D, then does that, I was like, wait, what does that make me, man? I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I got my first nomination.
Well, tell me more about that first week too, because that was a rough week for you. You quickly became like the house pariah, and everybody was like, and I mean everybody. I mean mostly Frenchie was using you as a scapegoat for mostly everything. Tell me what was going through your head. I mean, this is your first week in the game, and things have completely crumbled around you. What's going through your head?
What's going through my head? I really should have watched more Big Brother.
Briefly, which seasons have you watched?
I've watched 16, 19 fully. I watched a lot of 20 I've watched a lot of 21 and then a little bit of 20. And then other than that, I just saw clips from like other seasons.
So all the top seasons.
Yeah, exactly. All the must-sees. All the must-sees. I've heard I really want to go back and watch like Evil Dick season. I heard that was a good one. Janelle, I want to watch like Kaser. So there's a couple that I want to go back and watch, but too little too late for me. So I wish I watched more Big Brother so I understood this game a little bit better. It's so crazy. Like coming out of the house in jury, we like share like our notebooks with each other on what our strategy was going in. Claire had this entire Bible. She had every comp listed out, how to compete in them, what strategies to use. She had different strategies of forming alliances. She was sharing with me like this like onion approach where you peel this like onion out, the different layers. I was like, Claire, you deserve $750K. Right now, I'm just competing for AFP. Like, you have to see what I wrote down. I have half a page. Not even a full notebook folder. It is a moleskin. So it's half of a page this big. It says 1, make friends. 2, make people laugh. 3, form alliances. That just straight up was my.
Hey,
I just had.
You went 3 for 3.
I went 3 for 3. My strategy in that house is just to make friends. I was like, if I'm just good friends with people, they can't put me up. Like friendship will always reign king. So then that first week, I think, I was playing my strategy. I was just making friends. So me and Travis got extremely close. I was like, oh, this is my boy. Like, I'm going to ride for this guy. And what I did not understand at that time, and this is where my lack of Big Brother knowledge came to hurt me, is when you have public friendships like that in the house and people see that, they just assume it's an alliance, especially in the early days. But even later on, it's like when you see two people constantly hanging out, they start connecting that as an alliance. So I was constantly with Travis. I was constantly with Kai. And then Frenchie saw that stuff and he just assumed that we were all connected. And then that's when everything went south, and he started thinking that we're all working together, which we more or less like kind of were, but it wasn't a named alliance or anything. And it's man, so crazy. Like we wanted, or at least I wanted to pull Frenchie into it, but then Frenchie circumvented that and tried to put us up before I could have that conversation with him. A bunch of stuff went wrong, just a really poor communication. And I don't know, I think what was going through my head is like, you just feel so alone in that house. Like that first week, that first week was worse than the week that I was leaving, because at least when I was leaving, I had friends and there was people that I could talk to and hang out with, and I was still more or less enjoying my time. That first week, you have no friends. And if someone was to go out of the way and be friends with me, they were putting their own game at risk. So people actively avoided me that first week. And it literally feels like high school all over again. And you're on the outside of the in group and you feel extremely alone. So my mental health that first week was not good. Self-confidence, all-time low. I thought I was about to pack my bags, go back home to Maryland, and like dinner would still be on the table. Like, hey guys, sorry, I was just like in the bathroom, I'm back.
In the latrine. Yeah.
I mean, you worked your way back up from there, though. Like, how actively were you thinking about like, how do I work my way out of this hole?
Well, that was all I was thinking about, is like, how can I reposition myself? Because I was like, right now, I am just the bottom of the house. If I don't leave this week, I'm leaving next week, the week after. And ultimately, that is why I used the veto on Kai, because that first week, regardless of what you think about Kai now, that first week, Kai was king. Like, no one could say that he was not playing a good game. And he was playing a great social game. I don't know about like the strategy side, but everyone loved Kai, especially the girls. And I knew that I was on the outs with the guys. I knew Frenchie, Christian, like X, Big D. Like I didn't have like too much of a game relationship with them. So I was like, if I want the numbers in this house, I need to rally the girls. And Kai is much closer to the girls than Travis is. Like Travis, for my game, that would have just been like back-to-back eliminations, me and him. We would have just kept hitting a block next to each other. And I felt like with Kai, though, he could bring me into some type of alliance, because I knew people were probably going to bring him. And if I was really close with him, I think he might give me like a sympathy invite, and he'll drag me along and be like, hey, what about my friend over here? So that was me. So me using the veto, I knew like Travis would definitely go home, and he was my closest friend in that house. But for my game, I had to use it because I needed Kai on my side. Here's my question for you guys. One thing I'm extremely confused about, because me and Kai have been talking about this, is who pulled me into the Royal Flush? So far, is it Tiffany?
Yeah, Tiffany is the one that really tried, because Tiffany is the one that was pushing the Royal Flush in the first place. She pushed it to Kai a lot. Once she figured out the slaughterhouse with you and Claire, she really wanted to sort of like build her own thing. And so she pushed to Kyland a lot, like, hey, the kings and the queens should work together, but we should include Derek X. I really like this kid. And he was cool with it because you used veto on him. He was cool with you. But I would definitely credit Tiffany for pushing it the most.
Okay, cool. That's exactly what I have been doing. But me and Kai were like driving around yesterday, and then we were just talking about the game, and he was saying how like, and I was talking to him, and I was saying how I attribute a lot of my success in this game to Tiffany. Like I just didn't think I'd make it far without her, because she pulled me into the Royal Flush, and that is what kept me safe for like a really tumultuous point in the game. And he was like, wait, I was the one that pulled you into the Royal Flush. Like you were my boy, and then I was vouching for you to like pull you in. The entire like, he was saying how like Christian X, like everyone in Slaughterhouse like didn't want me in the Royal Flush, and he was the one vouching for me.
He did. So this is the thing too with like because people are taking a lot of credit in the end game here for a lot of things, but he did have conversations with Christian and Alyssa, and he did vouch for you in those moments, but not nearly as much, I would say, as Tiffany did. Like Tiffany, even in the first week before anything else had happened, was having conversations like, hey, just like floating out there like, hey, I actually don't think DX is that bad. What do you think? And like, so she was, I think, the one that put a lot of work, and she had a big conversation with Christian too about like how he can't be a king if he's working with those people. In order for him to be a king, he needs to come over with us. And we need DX. DX doesn't care about being a king. So yeah, she is definitely the person I would credit the most, but I would not say that Kylan didn't do work either.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay, that is good to hear.
Yeah.
I love Tiffany. I've been attributing all my success in this game to Tiffany. And like when we were in jury, we were like hypothesizing about like AFP and kind of based off like the BB bucks, we were thinking like, I was at least thinking it was either me or Tiffany. And then I would always tell Tiffany like, look, if it's not me, the only person that I would genuinely just be 100% happy for is you, because I attribute everything to you. I feel like you did so much for me in that game, and you absolutely deserve that.
Yeah. Derek, last thing that I promised my 8-year-old son, Dominic, this summer, that he said, Dad, if you ever talk to Derek X, can you tell him that he's my favorite player ever? So I just wanted to follow through on that promise. That
Okay.
I recently asked him, what would you do for Derek X to play in an all-star season? He said he would eat all the chicken McNuggets in the world.
All the chicken McNuggets in the world? Right.
Yeah. Is that a possibility?
No, there's a lot of chicken McNuggets in the world. I don't think he can do it. Hey, it's not up to me anymore, man. I think it's on the CBS studio head. So.
But you're open to it.
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. I would love. I don't know. Okay, so me and Tiffany have definitely been talking about this, and I think man, I just feel like there's a lot of pressure coming back for a second season. Like, I don't want to do worse than I did the first season, because then I'm gonna feel bad. But yeah, no, fuck it. I do want that second chance. I think I can do better, but now I'm just scared of falling into like the same traps. If I did come for a second season, I would just have to do way more prep going into it. So that would be like,
prep you just did? So what, 60 some odd days?
No, that's why I was only in there for 51 days. It's because I didn't do prep. If I went back for a second season, I would want to go in with like actually, no, I don't want to say too much, so I don't want anyone.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, look, you're not going to do any prep.
Yeah,
you're just going to go straight back in. You're just going to be a likable dude, and you're just going to want to help your friends win.
Catch me in the kitchen. I'll cook for you. Just give me like your menu that you want for the week. We'll get it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll love for an all-star season.
Derek, anything you want to tell the listeners to check out that you're doing?
I have something in the works that I'm working on.
A project?
Yes. And
with Travis?
Not with Travis. Me and Travis might do our own little separate thing. Maybe we'll like have like a little podcast that's just more humor and like a little bit of game possibly. What should I say?
I mean, anytime you can get Travis talking game.
Yeah, anytime we get Travis talking game. I think we might go IG live soon. I think what I'll say is I am very into fashion and have always wanted to start my own like streetwear clothing line. So that's something that I'm very interested in.
You made that sweatshirt sell like hotcakes.
Yeah.
I know. Come on, I'm still waiting for that check from Abercrombie.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, just like follow me on Instagram at Derek Xiao. I'm also on Twitter, Derek X BB23.
Okay. Derek X, real treat to get to talk to you today. It was very fun to get to watch you play all summer.
Thank you guys. It was a great meeting both of you. Taran, I'm glad I finally got to meet you. I've just been watching you on Twitter this entire time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was really, really fun talking to you, man.
Yeah, you guys too.
All right.
Cool.
Derek, thanks again. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.